Hello, this is Chris, and I am back with a brand new movie review. Today, I'm going to be giving my review on Molly's Game, which is the 2017 American crime drama film, directed and written by Aaron Sorkin. This is actually his directional debut. I've got a lot more to say on that in a minute. And before I get underway, I realised that this really annoying... Hang on, where is it? Beam of light. You can see it on the camera. I've tried moving the camera in all many different directions and I can't get rid of it, so apologies for that. I hope it's not too distracting. And I guess this is going to be the first video of many. It'll probably be a new playlist that we're going to create on the channel called Journey to the Oscars or something like that. I don't know what it's going to be called yet. Because this is an Oscar contender. This will definitely pick up or at least be nominated in a number of categories, which I'll talk about towards the end of my review. So look out for more videos like this because we are getting into Oscar season now. We'll be building up to our eventual live stream in March during the Oscars. We've done that for the last 2 years and it's a video that we love to do. So with all that being said, let's get into the review. So as I said, this is Aaron Sorkin's directional debut. Before this, he's been a screenwriter for a number of things. I think he's won Emmys, he's won all kinds of awards, and he's without a doubt one of my favourite writers in the business. He's written for such things such as The Newsroom, The West Wing, Social Network, and Steve Jobs, which was a movie that was really criminally underrated. What was that, 2015, I think that one came out? He's a great writer and he's got such a unique style that you can immediately just pinpoint to that's a Sorkin script, that's a Sorkin written character. And I was really looking forward to seeing how Sorkin would take that really quick-witted, quirky and lightning fast dialogue and turn that into a movie and see what kind of style he would bring to his own directional style in terms of pace and editing and everything like that. And there are times in which this movie, you kind of just feel like you need to take a breather because the dialogue is moving at such a quick pace. And even the movie as well, the movie's told in a very non-linear style, so you're jumping around quite a lot. And if you're not used to his style of scripts before, then you might feel like a bit breathless, like you're trying to catch up with a lot of things. Nevertheless, this is once again an absolutely fantastic screenplay by Sorkin, and a very competent entry in which is Sorkin's directional debut. So this is an adapted screenplay. This is based on the memoir Molly's Game, From Hollywood's Elite to Wall Street's Billionaire Boys Club, My High-Stakes Adventure in the World of Underground Poker by Molly Bloom. I think she needs to work on that title a bit, and I'm glad they didn't give that title to the actual movie itself. Yeah, so I was kind of astounded that this was real life. How the film begins and how it's framed, I thought, I wonder if this is real life. I really, besides the trailers, I didn't really look at much of the behind the scenes of this. I didn't even realise she was a real person. I'd never heard of her before this point. But if seeing this movie said anything, it really makes me want to get a hold of her book, go through it and see how closely it is tied to it, because it's a very interesting story, to say the least. I guess I should have opened with this, but this will be a spoiler-free review, so you don't have to worry about me giving anything major away. If I do go into spoilers, I won't be talking about much, but that will be a separate section at the end of the review, and I'll give you guys a warning. And there'll be a separate timestamp in the description below for when I do get to that spoiler section. So a script's only as good as its performers, and the performances in this film will be Academy Award nominated, guaranteed. Jessica Chastain is an actress who really can't do no wrong. I don't think I've ever seen her so far turn in a bad performance, and she is incredible in this movie. Once again, going back to the Aaron Sorkin script, Sorkin is a screenwriter that writes most of his characters very sassy, very sarcastic, and that might grate on a few people. But I think the dialogue's so lightning fast, so when Jessica Chastain is delivering that rapid fast dialogue, it makes sense to her character. She's a very ambitious woman, and we see her grow from, you know, just a couple of odd jobs that she's working to running high stakes poker games, and it's an incredible transformation. We see that in her performance and as her character evolves throughout the film as well. And although Jessica Chastain does play the character of Molly as this very ambitious, sarcastic and sassy woman through most of the film, there are those moments of emotion as well to a character which gives her a little bit more humanity in this very greedy criminal underbelly kind of world that she's sort of gets wrapped up into. And those emotional scenes are very satisfying to watch. I'm not going to go into specifics just yet, but there's a scene that she shares with Kevin Costner, who plays her father, and her relationship with her father in the film is very turbulent, and there's a scene that they both share on a park bench at some point in the movie which I was almost in tears at. This is without a doubt, even like the supporting cast as well, like Kevin Costner for example, Kevin Costner's always one of those go-to solid actors for me. He's always great, even in stuff like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I love him in that too. Guilty pleasure movie. But this is without a question of a doubt, one of the strongest performances I've ever seen Kevin Costner give, especially in recent few years. And Idris Elba too, who plays her lawyer. Also great casting. He gets some of the best lines. He gets this monologue. Anyone who knows a Sorkin script knows that at some point in the movie, someone gets an absolutely outstanding monologue. And I would say that probably goes to Idris Elba in this movie. So I'm going to talk more about the style of it now as well. So at the beginning of the film, the first scene, I'm not going to go in depth what it is. But it's all done with voiceover, and in fact most of the film is done with voiceover as well from Jessica Chastain's character. And it finishes, and you kind of think that opening scene might be irrelevant or pointless, and I was really worried for a second that with Sorkin being the director now, he might have gone a bit too crazy with his script. He might have gone a little bit self-indulgent and missed the point of focus and only presenting what is relevant to the story and not being flippant with scenes. But as the story unfolds, you realise that first scene is completely impactful to the rest of the movie, especially when we get to the ending as well. So I was very satisfied to say that there weren't really any wasted scenes in this movie. There's a part in the film, though, that I think was a missed opportunity, though. So the character of Molly, as she kind of gets deeper and deeper into this underground poker scene, and she gets involved with like the Russian mob and things like that are happening, she resorts to drugs, and I really wanted to see that complete change to her character. Like, she gets caught up on cocaine, all kinds of uppers and downers and a whole bunch of other things, but we really don't see that much of a degradation in her character. We get told that a lot. We get told that she's not on her A game, she's letting things slip, she's overlooking simple things that usually she would be really concrete on. But in terms of her character, we don't see that evolution, and she pretty much stays the same state throughout the majority of the movie. I don't blame Jessica Chastain for that. I really honestly think that the material just wasn't written to really focus on that. I think it kind of glosses over it in a lot of respects. And I think that it would have tacked on like another 10 or 15 minutes onto the film, which is already a very long film. I think the movie stands at about 2 hours, 20 minutes. And although it's quite a long movie, I never found myself bored by it, because as the film got into it and as Jessica Chastain's character gets more involved in this poker scene, I became hooked. And that's another thing with me. I love casino-based films or poker films, anything like that. Martin Scorsese's Casino, for example, or Casino Royale. Basically any movie with the word casino in it. But any high-stakes poker game, essentially, or any elements like that where they're in the backdrop of the film, I absolutely love. And this was a great insight into a world that I really wish I could live in. I wish I could be one of these billionaire playboys with a fancy sports car and be some kind of business tycoon or head honcho and go to these kind of high-end poker games. It just always looks so glamorous. I know that it's probably a very shallow lifestyle, especially the poker games that are like framed in here and you can become a gambling addict. But by God, they make it look glamorous. And I really wish I could be a part of that. I've been to casinos before and I've always loved that atmosphere of it, and I love being wrapped up in that world. I don't gamble myself, but boy, if I had the money, I probably would. And this movie made me really want to live in a world like that. Even though I've clearly missed the point of the film entirely, because as is the case with a lot of other films that deal with this kind of stuff, it tends to never work out. So I guess I should take a lesson from that in that regard. There's moments in the film as well that I always really like, because I know how to play poker. I'm not a professional poker player at all by any stretch of the imagination. But in the movie, it goes into it and it kind of explains which hands people have and which hand beats what. But it's all using like the technical lingo and the jargon that is said at poker games, all the technical terms. And there are moments where I really want to be on the same page as Jessica Chastain's character, but I'm just not getting there. Maybe I'd need to watch the movie a couple of other times. Maybe I need to watch more professional poker games being played to pick up on all the terms. But it does move at a very quick pace. And I guess I'm trying to think of another film that did that. There was Wolf of Wall Street, I think, did a very effective job where it knew you probably wouldn't understand all the ins and outs of the words they were saying, or the ins and outs of the business, but you could kind of get through that movie. It kind of held your hand through most of it. But there's some movies where it just assumes that you know things, that you know terms, know statistics, and it kind of runs through that. And I guess I'm rambling at this point, but I felt a little bit lost at some points in the movie. And I felt like I'd probably need a couple of views again to really pick up on it, or just need to expand my knowledge of poker, which is always good. I guess I'll give my overall opinion of it now. I really don't have that much to say when I come to spoilers, but my views are it's a very solid movie, very enjoyable movie. It's a great first entry from Aaron Sorkin. I guess he's now a director to watch and look forward to what he's going to do next. Once again, his screenplay is absolutely flawless, and I guarantee that this will be nominated for Best Screenplay, Best Adapted Screenplay, whatever it's going to be. And I guarantee that Jessica Chastain will probably get a nomination for Best Lead Actress. I'm not really sure on who the other nominees could be this year. I think Frances McDormand will probably get one from 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. And I need to look at all the other candidates as well. But I think it's going to be very tough this year in the actress category. But I guarantee Jessica Chastain will be nominated. It's hard to say for supporting cast as well. I mean, Idris Elba could get one, or Kevin Costner from this movie. Both fantastic. Everyone was great in this film. And yeah, high praise from me. I definitely recommend checking it out. If you're familiar with Sorkin's other work and you really like his screenplays, you're going to love this movie completely. Or even if you like sort of like casino or poker films, absolutely see this one. Or even if you're just curious, check it out, because I think there is a lot to like with this movie. It's very sleek how it's shot, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else he's going to do in the future. So that'll do it for my spoiler-free review. I only really have one scene to talk about for spoilers, and it's a scene that I referred to earlier with Jessica Chastain and Kevin Costner. So amidst all the glitz and the glamour of the casino and poker lifestyle, the emotional crux of this film is the relationship between Jessica Chastain's character of Molly and her father, played by Kevin Costner. That is the emotional through line. That is pretty much bookended in the movie. We learn that she was trying out and competing in the Olympics in skiing. Unfortunately, it all goes wrong. She trips over a frozen branch or frozen twig even, and she bails out, and that sort of adds to the fact that there's a very turbulent relationship between her and her father. We learn later on in the film that Jessica Chastain was aware that her father had been cheating on her mother, and this, added with a lot of other things, complete clash of personalities, results in them sort of like falling out of contact with each other and really losing their relationship. And it's at the very end of the film, when the court case is about to come up and she wants to plead guilty, she has this moment where she goes ice skating again. She puts the skates on, and it's sort of a very back to basics for her character. She's trying to get a sense of foundation again and rebuild her life. So she gets back on the ice. She comes into contact with her father, and they reconcile. They both sit on a park bench, and it's beautiful how it's written, and it's beautiful how it's framed. Kevin Costner's character is a clinical psychologist, and he basically says something along the lines of, I'm going to give you 3 years worth of therapy in 3 minutes. And he begins deconstructing her character, why she did what she did, why she went from trying out for the Olympics to end up in high stakes poker games. And I guess it stems from her frayed relationship with her father, but he goes beyond that and basically boils it down to that she's a very ambitious and driven woman. She made it happen. And it's a very nice ending at the end. It all comes full circle. With a very nice ending shot as well, which kind of encapsulates everything about the film. That's really all I have to say for spoilers. Go and check this film out. It's a fantastic film. I had a great time with this. Fantastic script, really competently directed by Sorkin. And I'm going to look forward to seeing him grow, not just from his other screenplays. We know he can write a damn screenplay, but in terms of directing, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next on the cards for him. No pun intended. So that'll do it for my review of Molly's Game. Be sure to comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought of this film. Did you like it? Didn't you like it? Which categories do you think it will be nominated for at the Academy Awards? Anything related to Aaron Sorkin or Molly's Game, please do let me know. In terms of what's coming up on the channel, as I said, we're into January now. That means awards season, and that means that movies are going to be coming thick and fast. It means I'm going to be having to go to the cinema a lot, and it means I'm going to be on a lot more reviews like this. There's another 2 movies out this week that I really want to check out, Hostiles and All the Money in the World. I'll be seeing them at some point this weekend, so look out for reviews for those. I'll also be on a bunch of reaction videos as well. There's been a new trailer out for a series of Unfortunate Events, the Netflix series. I'll be on a reaction for that. So a bunch of stuff happening with the channel. We're going to be bringing you lots more content now. We're into 2018. So hit the subscribe button, like, share, spread the word, all that good stuff. Check out our social media links as well. Our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram are all in the description down below. That'll do it from me, and until the next video, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.